Welcome to Drum and Drummer, a podcast focused on drums, drumming and drummers. I'm George Pickering and that's Ben Winty, and we are both professional drummers in this business we call music. So stick around and join us as we pass the time whilst trying to stay in time.
I don't know, something just clicked in my head. I was like, I don't have a choice but to just smash this.
Welcome to D&D, not Dungeons and Dragons.
Hate it already. Dungeons and Dragons is a stupid game. I'm starting with that. It's ridiculous. I had a housemate that used to play it. I thought it'd be cool. I thought people were sat around, with figurines or something. I thought that would be cool. But no, they were doing it over Zoom. And yes, it was COVID times, but it's all just, making up a story. Which, to be fair, actually, no. If they enjoy it, then who am I to say? Actually, no. Yeah. Do you know what? If you play D&D, keep playing it. I've changed. I've done a 180 there.
Good, very quick 180.
Yeah. Well, life's too short. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, we got a guest today.
Yeah. Welcome to the other D&D. It's Drum and Drummer. Ben Winty here. WHYNTIE. Jorge Pickeringo. Won't spell that one.
Pickering. Just
good.
In case. Yeah, well, you did yours.
We do have a guest. We're doing these. We're sort of stockpiling a few. We're grabbing people while they're free because everyone's off touring. We're not, so we're stockpiling these. So we haven't really got much to talk about because we've just done loads in very quick succession. So we can just drum straight in. Unless you've got anything, George. Have you got anything?
No, I think that'd be quite a nice way to. I don't think we've ever done that. Usually we chat a load of shit for a while. So
yeah, okay. Well, let's dive in. We've got a guest. She's brilliant. She's got an amazing career. It's not north. It's not west. It's not south. It's Ellie East.
Right, here's some fun facts, Ellie, for you about Ben. Ben is basically and there's no good way to phrase this, an 11-year-old boy and a 40-year-old man. There was better ways to phrase that. He is... Ben, what have you had for breakfast today?
Cookie Crisp cereal.
Banging cereal. To be fair, you've got it there. There's the cinnamon ones are my favourite.
Okay.
Oh, we're not on the same page, is that?
No, I'm not a cinnamon boy.
Okay, well.
Let's not. Christ, Ben, don't fall out of Ellie. We haven't even started. Over cereal.
I know I was late, but...
But I will be having a ham sandwich, salt and vinegar crisps, and a Capri Sun for lunch.
There you go.
Well,
Capri Sun.
Because I've got maths at 2 p.m. So...
You know what? The one I liked, PE-wise, before we get onto drums, was the big gazebo thing. Do you remember that? Where everyone lifts it up and then you have to run in it. Did you have this one?
Yeah, the big colourful tent thing, and you throw it
and
up.
you lift it.
Yeah.
A pedo's dream, that was, wasn't it? That was...
Right, let's talk about drums.
Anyway.
Because Ben will get us cancelled.
Listen, you shaking your heads at me.
I've
heard about your game you played on the drive home from the drum show. Oh, what's your out of 10 terrorist attacks?
I don't know who said that. That definitely wasn't me.
No. Let's not,
Mine was
make
pizza
things
topping
awkward.
or something.
Yeah, Ellie's was quite nice. Well, we did meet at the UK Drum Show.
We did.
And then played your brilliant game on the car ride back.
It is the best car game in existence. We killed 3 hours doing that, and I've done it on tour before.
Yeah.
I was on tour earlier this year. My friend Jack showed it to us. I think it killed 7 hours. You can just keep going.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they got a mention in your podcast because I was like, if nothing else, if no one else takes anything else from this podcast today about drums or me or anything, take this game.
I mean, no, let's not play it now, but it's worth mentioning just for if anyone didn't listen last week. I mean, do you want to describe the game, Ellie? Not to put you on the spot.
I really didn't describe it well in the car. I think we just went round and
we did because we had a great time.
Well, yeah. Maybe we close the show out with it today. We'll start it at the end.
Maybe we'll have a little
cheeky round at the end.
A little treat.
So, were you at the UK Drum Show on business or just kind of checking it out?
Both. I had a meeting with Mike Dolbear in the morning, and there's a conversation. I might do something with him next year. And I had such a great time last year, and it was I was only there for a few hours this year. I really wanted to go. It was between like 2 sets of rehearsals, and I go on tour next week, and there was just so much happening. I wasn't going to go, and then Tina from British Drum Company was like, "Are you coming?" I was like, "Oh, go on then." Yeah. So I got like a last minute train the night before, which was horrendous. Everything was delayed, and I'm sure you've heard it was crazy. But yeah, no, I'm so glad I got to go. I met a lot of people that I hadn't had a chance to meet before, never met before. Yeah, I'm so glad I actually got to make it.
Yeah. Did you get to see much then in your few hours there, or was it
I
just
really
quite rushed?
didn't. I was just talking to people. Once I start talking, I'm there for like
Yeah.
a good hour. So, did I see any? No, I didn't see any
Okay.
performances.
Ben and I went a couple of years ago, and we didn't really even know about the whole. I mean, we did know that there was master classes and stuff like that, but we were kind of like wandering about.
The thing I love about it is obviously on other gigs you're with other guitarists, bass players, keyboard players, singers, but you're not. It's rare you're on a gig with another drummer. So it was just nice to. I did see Sharice's talk with BDC with Al Murray.
Oh yeah,
that was
yeah.
fantastic. She is so cool, and we've like spoke a lot over Instagram, but we never met. And yeah, I'd only met Gabby like a couple of times anyway as well. So it was nice. Yeah, and Hannah,
Oh really?
who plays with CMAT, like she's an incredible year. So yeah, it was just really nice to see a lot of people that I hadn't able to
Yeah.
before.
Well, that's probably a good segue into BDC because you're a
Mm.
BDC artist. How did that come about?
It was a couple of years ago. Tina, the head of like Archvations there, sent me a message on Facebook saying, "Oh, I'm enjoying like sort of watching your journey." And this is kind of before I'd done any sort of quite bigger gigs, and I'd like seen the name, I'd seen the drums, I'd never played them, and then we were just like chatting a little bit. It was very just organic. It wasn't for anything. And then I played a festival. What was it? When I was with Katie Baser, and the house kit was a British Drum Company Legend series. So I said to our tour manager, I was like, "Oh, can we? I'm going to use the house kit. I'm going to try it," and I loved it. It was a Legend series, which is what I've got now. And after that, I said, "Oh my god, like I'd love to, come into it," because I knew they did like a factory tour and everything's handmade. And it was just, as soon as I was there, I was just like, wow, like there was a real sense of everyone was so passionate about the drums. Everyone's so passionate and so friendly. And it was just such a nice team. Like I still talk to them, like everyone that works there, like reply to all my stories, and we're still in contact like throughout the year. And then yeah, Tina was like, would you want to get a kit? I was like, absolutely, I'd love to get a kit. And was looking at the finishes. I don't know if you've seen the colour of my kit.
Yeah.
His name's Elton. He is beautiful, like, and that's kind of the dream color kit I've like envisioned since I was a kid. I think Tama and Yamaha do like a very similar shade. For anyone, it's like a sea foamy green, blue, turquoisey, Tiffany blue, and we were like back and forth throughout the color for a bit, and then they're like, I can do that. And I literally, when I saw it, when I walked in, it had like a little showroom where they do like Beth, the head of socials and stuff, does like a little photo shoot with it. And it's got the chrome on the side, which I've got a Bluebird snare, which is chrome over brass, and it just looked. I will never forget when I saw that. I was like, God.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that every time I see it, to be honest.
So how much like involved could you be in terms of specific sizes? And was there like don't take the piss? Or was there like go for it?
No, they were like they couldn't do enough. I think I knew I sort of wanted 10, 12, 14, 16. Now I kind of wish I got 18 as well, which I might still do. But I am thinking about getting a lounge series for next year. Because obviously my kit is, I love it. I've never had an issue if someone's like, that's too much. Actually, no, I have. But I'll come back to that. And because the colour is quite bold. And I'm aware like, might not be suitable for everything. But so far it has. But originally, when I started with Dave Stewart of the Eurythmics, when I first spoke to him, he was like, "Yep, the stage design is black and red and silver," and I was thinking,
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, Tina and British Drum Company have sorted out the black sparkly raven red. I can't remember what the finish is. It's just black sparkly one that they have at John Henry's for the Europe tour and then the US tour. And then when it came round to doing the next Europe tour, our front of house, and I have a 22-inch kick, and the one they have that they loan out is a 20-inch, and our front of house we used a 22-inch higher in America, and then our front of house was like the 22 sounded so much better for the arenas and the big festivals. Is there any way they can get that? And I don't think they had it. So then he was like, "Can you ask Dave if he likes your kit?" And when I showed it to Dave, the blue, he's like, "Blue's my favorite color," and I was like, "Right, okay, great." So now we do use my kit on that show.
Blue
Amazing.
Rhythmics.
Yeah.
that didn't
That's
land
it,
very
easy
well.
to
Ben,
No,
did
no,
it?
it was awful. Yeah, no.
Wait, what did you say?
Blue
Tried to do a
Rhythmics.
joke.
Oh, I thought you said. I don't know what I thought you said.
Yeah.
Actually.
Don't worry.
Anyway, I'm gonna return that. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, great. Cut it like that. Cut it like that.
Oh.
Well, should we talk about Eurythmics? Because that's amazing gig. How did that happen?
So, it first of all, it is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Not just from the playing and the scale of the shows and just the honor it is, as cheesy as that sounds, to do the songs. It's just the absolute nicest group of people that we've all become best friends, including Dave. He treats us like, his own daughters. But yeah, he DM'd me on Instagram in 2023, the day before my birthday, which ever two other main gigs that I've got, it was a DM on my Instagram the day before my birthday too, which is weird.
When is your birthday?
The 4th of August. So everyone feel lucky
Yeah.
on the 3rd of August.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. He messaged. He said, "Hey, it's Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics here. His Instagram name is Dave Stewart Eurythmics, the blue tick. Are you free in November?" And I was like,
Scam of that.
"Yeah." Well, when I told my dad, he was like, "Yeah, nah, it's not real." I was like, "Dad, I think it is. I think it is."
I supported parent there.
And yeah, it was the bass player Julia Lamb. I think, did we talk about her in a car? I can't remember. Again, one of my best mates now. I'd kind of known her a little bit through Instagram. Be honest, I thought she was really cool and scary, and I was like, "Oh, okay." The same with all of the girls in the band. Actually, they're so incredibly talented. But yeah, we had a FaceTime and it went really well. And he was like, we do every genre. We're talking about. I think he was talking about Michael Aldag, who I've played for about 4 years. He was like, "I like the ginger bonkers boy you play for." Dave just likes anything that's crazy, basically.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's as simple as that. We had a Zoom call and was like, "Yeah, cool, come on tour." And I was like, "Right." And then I met with the music director, Hannah Kopenberg, who again now is one of my closest, dearest friends. But at the time, I was terrified of her because I turned 23, turned 24. Everyone else in the band was sort of 28, 29, 36, 40. And Dave is 73 now, so 71 at the time, which is insane. But like how you'd think he's like 50, if younger maybe. And I remember I first met Hannah, and she was like, "Right." She was just very, straight to the point of there's 26 songs, there's 2.5 hours worth of music. You need to know the record version, you need to know the version from the Peace Tour, you need to know the version we did in 2019 with Nile Rodgers. And I'm thinking, okay, right. And she's like, "Yeah, what have you done before?" And very much pop, backing tracks, click, young, up and coming artists is kind of all I'd really done at that point. She was like, "Okay, well, there's no click, there's no track, it's all live, it's all on you as a drummer."
Oh, cool.
And I'm thinking, yeah, cool.
Wow.
I left that and I called my mum and I was like, "Oh my God, I don't know if I can do this." So I kind of put my Roland kit in my bedroom and blocked out everything I was doing for the 2 months and just learnt these songs. And then it came to rehearsals. The rehearsal period was, the singers were all based in America. So we didn't have any singers until the 3 days production rehearsals before our first performance, which was televised in Switzerland. So we were rehearsing just keys, who's the MD, drums, bass, and sax, with no vocals. And like the Eurythmic songs there's no 4, 8, 16 bars. It's 5, 7 bars, 2 bars, So we're trying to, Hannah's kind of singing parts of the thing. And obviously, of course, when we get into it, vocalists want to change things. There's a lot of stuff, obviously, to go through. And that production rehearsals are not for us. They're for lights and stage. It was just absolute chaos. So our first show that we did was televised in Switzerland, and Joss Stone came out with us. I was so nervous, and it went fine. It wasn't our favourite, but it was. I think we from the first rehearsal, we all really, really clicked and gelled. I think Dave really knows what he's doing. You know, he is a next level sort of genius person. The more I get to know about him, the more the stories I hear. When he, you know, we came into rehearsals and he's talking about Stevie Wonder recording harmonica on There Must Be an Angel and the story of that. And then he's drum wise, he's talking about Clem Burke, who played for like Blondie, and talking about Ringo Starr, all these things. I'm just Ellie. What is actually, you know? And it was such a high pressure situation, but I think we all bonded so well, and they've just made it such a fun. We're just going to have fun experience that we did, and every show we've done has been like, I've come off like beaming every single time. Every show's slightly different. Nothing is ever the same, which I love, and it's just like pushed me so much. And I just, sorry, I've just gone on about ages for this, but
No,
it is
great.
just, we're, you know.
Can I just go back to that period of time where you said you set a rolling kit up and you were like, right, I'm doing this gig, this is my prep time. During that period, was there any part of the set you were like, shit, this is...
Yeah, a lot of it.
Okay.
Because
what was that? Was that a technical thing or just...
It was, you know, I was kind of given... Hannah had worked with Dave for a couple of years prior, and she sort of said, you know, which is absolutely fair enough, he's been doing these songs for 40 plus years, you know, a million different versions. He's worked with so many different people and different things that she was like, he might come in and want to do this version or this version, and we just got to just do it. And not in a, this is what we're doing way. He's just like, I think we were playing one song, and this is one of the first times I met him. He starts playing this like ska reggae thing, and we're like, okay. And he goes, yeah, let's do this. Let's mix it in with this. And I think Hannah's like, no, we're trying to put this show together. And he just wants to have fun the whole time, which, you know, is the whole point. And if you've been doing it for that long, he does just want to have fun. And I think for me, it was just, I'm not just learning this set as I've done before. I'm learning essentially 4 sets, because it could just be anything that pops up. But now it's made learning any other sets now so much easier. Not easier, but like I have my way of approaching it now. I think during it there was there's a few songs that I just wasn't sure which sort of angle to approach it from. Like, because some of the live sets I've done is way more live, and what we do is very live. And I thought, you know, with Eurythmics songs, I thought I'm going to need loads of electronics. I'll need some like rototoms. It's all very bandy, very live. I think you know, we do a Bob Dylan cover because he's got a Bob Dylan covers album out. Very Rolling Stonesy sort of vibe. And apart from on Sweet Dreams, that one's obviously very, very true to the track. But I think it was just an abundance of stuff that I was like, I don't know what to expect. I have no idea what they expect from me, what they want. So I just need to know everything, basically.
When you're playing for someone like Dave Stewart, how does it... Well, I want to get into a little bit of nitty-gritty, because I think there's... Feel free to...
He loves nitty-gritty.
I do. I love the nitty-gritty. I'm fascinated
Give
with
it to me.
the behind the curtains. So I'm kind of wondering, and feel free to reveal as much or as little as you want, but how does something like that work in terms of like a contract, or how your pay is structured? Is it an indefinite thing? Is there a limit? How does that, you know, sense of job security, anything like that, how does something work with an artist like Dave?
And if you ask in terms of like, I'm not on a retainer or anything. It's sort of, we've done 4 or 5 tours, maybe 4 or 5, I can't remember. It's just been per tour, and his management and everything's based in the US. So and a lot of American artists do things sort of payment bi-weekly. But no, I'm not on any sort of retainer. It's just when the shows come up. I don't know what else to elaborate on that. That's it, really.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
There you go.
I only know a handful of people on a retainer. I think that's a lot more common with like bigger pop gigs. I think. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm saying there. My assumption.
I just wondered in terms of like.
Did I misunderstand the question? Did I not
don't
really
know.
answer it?
Maybe I didn't ask it well enough. I guess like when you're, because I've asked other people a similar question, like how do they manage their diaries? You know, when they have to do multiple artists or things like that, and when you maybe get we spoke to Josh Coupling the other week, and you know he had to sort of, a tour got moved, and it meant he could do some other stuff, and then something's clashed by a day and things like that. And I guess wondering that sort of, I guess it's when you're a session player playing for someone rather than being like in the band. I guess you're a little bit more reliant on what that person wants to do rather than
I mean, I think,
a
I've been very
collective.
lucky. This year I've worked with so many different art. I've done one tour with Dave, but I've been next week I'm on tour with an artist called Sophie and the Giants for a month, and then after that I've got some stuff with Michael Ardag, who I've been with for about 4 years, and Joe Hill, who I've joined this year. We I got an email about doing like the festival summer run, Glastonbury, BST, a few headline shows, Leeds, with Joe, which was amazing. I love her music, and I did another one earlier this year. This year was a bit of a bizarre year for me. I'm going to go off drums for a hot minute. I got a DM from my friend Chris Liggett, who's an incredible music director, in about February, March, saying, "Hey, Ellie, I'm looking for a drummer that can play bass." And I was like, "Okay, well, I don't know." And he was like, "Well, you can do it." I was like, "I don't know about bass. Like, I play a little bit of guitar, not really." And he was like, "Yeah, you can do it." I was like, "Okay." And it's only like a couple of songs that were sort of more acoustic, rather than I was just using some mallets to wash it out or sitting there twiddling my thumbs. Just jumped on bass for a couple of songs, and it kind of changed the whole trajectory of my year, in the sense of I've only done only Dave's gig this year where I've not doubled up on another instrument, and I've never done that before this year ever live. I thought of noodled around with other things, but with Joe Hill I've got a 12-string guitar. I did that. I can play 12-string, but I can't play 6-string very well. It's a bit weird. And with the Sophie and the Giants gig next week, I am playing bass for a couple of songs. I've got a little percussion set up. It's electronic. I'm using like a stand-up Roland thing with some live cymbals, tambourine, some other cymbals, shakers, some bongos, and then bass. So a little bit of a spaceship, which I honestly like. It's so fun. It's not anything I ever thought I would ever do. And then again, put in a situation you just have to do it. And then I've just learned to love it. And kind of what we were saying in the car, George. Whether you're a musician, a drummer, okay, you've probably got to have a cajon. You've probably got to have some rolling stuff. You've got to have this. You've got to have. You want to be able to double up on something. With an artist, when they're getting signed to a label, they need to have a full package. You're just expected, and a lot of drummers now are expected to run playback and know how Ableton works and know how this works. And you just, the more you can know and learn, the more work you can get. And I don't think that ever really changes at any level. Drums will always be best instrument, obviously, but it is fun. And someone said to me earlier this year, our production manager on the last Dave tour, Gabe, he's front of house production manager, but in the winter he's like a ski something in Japan, and he also, his family makes olive oil and like just so many things. And for me, I am someone that always has an obsession or a side. My whole life just feels like a load of side quests, to be honest. Like little obsessions here and there all the time, and it's quite intense. But he said, Ellie, what did he say? The spice of life is variety. I was like, you know what, Gabe? Yeah, it is. It's fun, and I'm just this year has just like changed. I mean, it sounds really dramatic, but it's just changed my whole outlook on like everything I sort of want to do, and I always just be so like fixated on, oh, I'm doing this one thing, and if I post on Instagram like a little guitar video, because I do a lot of songwriting and I love it, and like people are going to be like, oh, stay in your lane, you're not even doing XYZ in your session drumming career, don't try. And I thought I got out of my head of that mid this year, being around sort of good people and just being like, oh, you know what? And I think sorry, I'm going off on a massive tangent. This will probably happen quite a lot. I think I've been quite career focused since I was about 16. Like, I've known what I wanted to do, and like before I was full-time music, I was working at the O2 Arena and working stage production and artist liaison at festivals, and always been in live events since sort of 16, 17, and always known, and not really thought outside of that. I want to get gigs. And, my old manager at the O2, Erica, bless her, she would always say, I'd like turn up after college with cymbals and a snare. Bear in mind, I'm like 5 foot 1.8. I found out earlier this year, with cymbals and a suitcase and a snare. And they'd be like, oh, what is that? I'm like, oh, I'm a drummer. And they're like, oh, okay. So then like she would always let me have, maybe I shouldn't say this, like have shifts off if I had a gig, and like just people very supportive. And I think I've just always been like that in my life. I think where I sort of started to relax a little bit at the end of last year, and just less like pressure on myself, and just like enjoying whatever comes up. Because there's definitely times where like there's not work and it is scary, and that is just the nature. No matter what big gigs you're doing, or that's always inevitable. It's the most unpredictable. I always sort of think now, I've had so many letdowns. I think when you love what you do, a letdown, a tour being cancelled, they're going in a different direction. It's such a personal thing because it's your hobby, it's your whole personality. And I think I've just learned to sort of detach that a little bit, and sort of say, well, I'm not on that tour until I'm like on that bus or on that van, and sort of make accountabilities for that.
I think Ben, we always talk about like questions we'll ask a guest, and Ben said, I might ask, what do you do outside of drums, So, I mean, that would be a good, are these side hustles drum related, or are there hobbies that aren't involved in music?
What for me now?
Yeah.
I really, I think until last year, like the last 2 months, I had a tour in October, and then not really much going on. I think that was the first time I'd really had that in a long time, and it really did. I had a lot of changes in my personal life earlier that year as well. I was just be like, oh my God, like if I'm not Ellie on tour, like who the hell am I? Like I think I'd never really considered that from the age of, I've been quite, luckily enough, been pretty busy from like 2021 when I did my first tour. I never really had the chance to explore that. So I did a barista course and got into coffee.
Cool.
And I ended up with a job for like a couple of months until they were like, yeah, we actually need you to be here for that. And I was like, oh man, but I did love it. So yeah, like around Christmas last year, I basically just asked this coffee shop near me, Milk, big up. I asked if they do like a barista course, because it was the only thing that I was like, that's the only thing I'd be interested in outside of music. I promised myself I wouldn't start talking about coffee on this, but here we are. And he was like, yeah, I mean, you can pay to do the barista course, but if you're home for a couple of months, like I'm opening another shop, so I need someone to help. And I was like, I would love that. And I loved it very much. I even I bought like a little top on Vinted. It was like a vintage like cafe thing. And my friends were like, Ellie, you've clearly never had a real job. Like you really, you are so excited about this. And I was like, it was great. I loved it. And now I have that whole set up at home, and it's the only other thing I'm interested in outside of drums, guitar.
No, but that's great. I remember when we had Mark Pusey on talking about when he was, he's always just drums focused, and then someone spoke to him and like, yeah, but what else do you do? He's like, well, I play drums, that's it. And then he said he joined the RNLI because he was like, oh, let's have something outside of it, And I think it does take the pressure off. I think it's sort of like I try and think a bit like that. I go, well, I'm good with the gigs I've got, but there are other things. It's not just drums, And also that whole thing of, I'll just say for Ben and I, talking about, I know you were talking earlier about sort of perhaps not feeling like, I don't know if it's imposter syndrome or something, like certain gigs, you're like, oh shit, these guys are scary to me. I remember Ben and I were like, who are we to have a drumming podcast? You know what I mean? It's like, we haven't done any big gigs, but it's sort of like, you just do it, and then
you just do it. You're drummers, and it's just drummers talking to drummers. Like it doesn't,
exactly.
And I think
that's all it should be.
I think imposter syndrome never really goes away. Like some of the biggest people I've spoken to in any field, you are just every it never really goes away, and I think that's the whole point. Whoa.
Yeah. I think it is
existential.
Yeah. I think if you went, I've completed drums, I'm all good, I'm the best, then it's like, You're probably not, you know. But it is refreshing because anyone we talk to, you know, you can look at their Instagram, you know, your Instagram or anyone's, and it's sort of. But then when you have that, I don't know, without sounding cheesy, but that realness of, you know, tours do fall through, and there are things that there are letdowns. You know, it's not always perfect, and you're playing Sweet Dreams every night. You know, it's like it can be tough. You know, so
I think
yeah.
there's always the question of what's next. That's always
Mm.
Yeah.
so. You know, other people we've spoken to, and people have done big things, and even people outside of music, or even things I've done, whether it's in the studio or gig wise, where you go, okay, well, I finished that album. What's next? Or
Yeah.
you play. I haven't done this, but you play Wembley. What's next? Because
Yeah.
there's the next day comes around, and one day you're playing those gigs, and then the next day you're not.
Yeah.
So there's
Oh,
always a
100%.
what's next, and I guess some people, how you deal with that question, I think says a lot. And I think if you have something outside of drumming, outside of music, that gives you, I don't know,
Yeah.
time away,
No.
keeps your brain somewhere else. Because if you're always, I mean, it's, you know, you see so many, to get really dark, but so many people reach the apex of music and then they kill themselves. They're never,
Mhm.
they're not happy.
Do you know
And
what?
you have to
I think
have
that's-
something else to keep.
Yeah. I just realised you've got a SpongeBob top on. I've just realised that. We were talking about something quite deep there, weren't we?
Try not to kill yourself, I think is
Right. Right, that's kind of, yeah. Oh, yeah, coming off a tour or coming off, like, you know, a run of shows or being a busy period, I really used to struggle with that, like, a lot. Like, and so it was, okay, especially the end of last year. And I think when I, you know, started working in the coffee shop, my friends were like, what? And my family were like, oh, do you need money? I'm like, well, no, I like it. And I think it's still something I'm trying to balance, because I'm quite an extreme person with most things. You know, when I love something, I love it in terms of friends, people, everything is just quite intense quite quickly. So when I'm on a tour, like, those people are my best friends. I don't think about outside of that tour. Like, I you know, that's me. And that's just how I've always been, like, in school, certain friend groups, family, you know. And then when I come home, I'm like, oh, okay. And then, you know, my bestest friends in the world, you know, are not musicians, and I love them so much. But, you know, I come home and I'm like, on a random Tuesday afternoon, hey guys, how you doing? They're like, Ellie, we're in work. And actually, all the time, I call my two best friends, Brogan and Katie, and I call them random afternoon, and they're like, hey Ellie, are you okay, or are you just driving? I'm like, I'm just driving. And they're like, okay, well, I am working. And I'm like, okay. Next person, hey Ellie, are you are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. They're like, okay, well, I am at work. I'm like, okay. So now I think that's, you know, with the girls on the Dave team, they kind of understand that a little bit. So I do see them a lot. But yeah, I think, and it also, from playing other instruments this year, it has made me love drums again. And like, from doing the coffee thing, I was like, when I was back on tour, I was like, oh my God, like, I loved the coffee shop, and that was like a very short period of time, and I loved it. But you do realise, okay, no, this is actually what I do.
Yeah.
And you get like a new love for it every time, I find, anyway. And yeah, from doing like guitar and bass on some of these shows this year and tour, I was so nervous and scared about these songs and playing guitar and bass, because who the hell am I to be doing that? I'm thinking, oh, there's a real bass player here watching me going, her technique is, I'm like, yeah, it's shit, because I've never done it before. And then it made me not overthink what I'm doing drumming, and just enjoy it, which in turn is when I play my best. When I'm like, I always say, like, I haven't really taught much at all, because I don't feel like I'm very good at explaining things. But my biggest thing I would say, like, to anyone that is learning, is just like, this sounds so cringe, but I do mean it. Play every song like it is your favorite song, or that you have written it, or your emotion, like, and then you'll just play it so much better. And I think from being overthinking about these guitar, you know, bass songs, the drums, I was just enjoying it, which people would like to see that on a show way more than you sort of sitting there, like, you know.
It could be worse. I could be a bassist. That's what you're essentially saying. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just doing this temporarily, you know, but I'm going to go back to the cool shit in a second.
The real deal, yeah.
You're stuck with that for life.
Just to stray from drums a little bit, I am conscious of time. You mentioned sort of songwriting and, things like that. Is that something that you'll ever kind of, I don't know, take further and start doing your own solo
I
thing
mean,
or something?
definitely not that. No, I'm not a singer. But I write songs every day, and I have been for the past year and a bit now. It sort of
Love it.
started last year on tour. I kind of done it a lot. I've always I find from like 2014, my Snapchat memories. I used to write songs because I could see what chords I was playing, and it doesn't take loads of storage on my phone. And I found it the other day, and I was like, God, I have been writing. They're all terrible. They're all the work, like they're shit. But I've been doing it for a long time, and I sort of stopped. I think I wanted to focus on drums, and I think I said to you in the car, George, my sort of drum teacher in college was like, "No, you just want to play drums. You don't want to play other things." So I was like, "Yes, correct." But I kind of okay. Anyway, yeah, just drums, and then yeah, I don't know if Dave even knows that this had an impact on me, but we were somewhere in America, and he had his guitar in the dressing room. I sort of picked it up, and he was like, "I don't even play guitar." I was like, "I don't." And we sort of wrote a song there on the spot. And I think just not that I don't like to think that I want external validation, but I think just Dave Stewart saying, "Oh, you should write." I think he writes songs every day. It's just a second nature to him. Whereas, like to me, if I was to write a song, that's a really big deal. Even just for me to hear, that was like a massive deal. Just keep writing. I was like, okay, so I did and didn't, and I think when I was going through things, personal life, it sort of this is gonna make me throw up just saying this, but it was when you hear artists say like it made me actually realize what my emotions were. It's actually so true. I hate to say it.
Yeah. No, it's great.
And I'd never had that sort of outlet before, and I just hit things, which is an outlet. But I started doing it with some people. When I was on tour with Jack Kane earlier this year, he is just so incredibly talented, and his girlfriend Tony also incredible. Both of them are just hyper talented with incredible voices and amazing writers. And I'm sort of doing a bit with them, and they're like, this is great. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And I think eventually I'm like, okay, I'm not shit. And I just keep doing it, I've just seen the progress. And yeah, I've got a few sessions coming up, and that is something ideally, my dream would be to go on tour, drum, come back, be in studio sessions as a songwriter, go on tour, drum. That would be the dream, and that's sort of my aim for next year. That was the kind of game this year, but it did just get busy. But I am taking my guitar and my little sample pad and my laptop on tour next week, and hopefully try to get loads of stuff finished. Again, not anything for my own project, just I want to write for other people.
What is the tour next week?
Sophie and the Giants.
Oh yeah, that was it.
Singer. Yeah, she's incredible, and Dan, who's the sort of DJ. We're all kind of doing a lot. He's DJ, he's the MD, he's playing guitar, he's playing keys, and then playing various percussion, drum things. Sorry, I've realised I spoke at you for like an hour. And
no. That's you're the perfect. Genuinely, you're a perfect podcast guest.
I just won't. I won't shut up. But I
it's great.
I did want more conversation.
I mean, we do this every week, so we try not to repeat ourselves. Because I'm sure.
What do you mean more conversation? Is there anything you want to ask me or Ben?
Well, is there anything you want me to ask you?
Right. Oh wow, turned it back on us. No. People that listen know more than they should know about us. Your tour, is it UK? Is it the UK tour or is it somewhere else?
UK and Europe. So there's Manchester and London are the only UK shows, and then Europe.
Nice.
I don't know, just Europe.
Who was your favourite delivery company?
Delivery. That's not what I was expecting.
Yep.
Delivery company, as in
read it however you want.
Like, do we mean food or like packages?
Can be couriers.
I'll tell you what, it's not Amazon. They throw shit over my. So many things. Like the other day, I ordered a guitar stand. It was in the rain. They threw it over the gate. And the other day, I ordered my Halloween costume, which is ridiculous. And I needed like gold body paint. I'm going as basically my friend's going as Veruca. What's his face from Willy Wonka? And I was going to go to Willy Wonka. I was like, oh. And I was like, oh boy. I was like, what can I go? So I'm going as a golden ticket. Bear in mind, a lot of my friends are American, so they take Halloween very seriously. Anyway, the gold paint had gone everywhere in the back. So that's my least favorite.
Wow. Poor
Are very
Fernando.
passionate about that.
Yeah,
I guess like Royal Mail probably all right.
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah,
are
yeah.
they? Is that
Yeah, a lot
controversial
of
to
people are
say? I'm
saying
not
that
sure.
recently. No. That's kind of most people are saying that recently.
I think we're
I'll
going
tell you
back
what,
to
because
live music with no click and Royal Mail. We're going back. We're having a
the
resurgence.
good old days.
Resurgence.
Yeah. Your friend
Um,
Ollie Woods, I know you know Ollie Woods. He when he was on the
Fantastic drummer.
podcast, I had a DPD delivery turn up whilst we were doing it. Whilst we asked that question, my drum skins arrived, which was the maddest coincidence ever. I just remembered that. But I
Wait,
knew
did you
that you
ask?
knew Ollie Woods.
I do. Fantastic drummer. He's fucking insane. I actually realised I had listened to a couple of your podcasts. I've heard Ollie
Oh,
Woods.
really?
I didn't realise it was you. I'd seen a bit of Gabby's, and then Connor Hopkins' Skinny Jeans Gate. I did see a bit of that.
Oh,
I heard a bit of that.
yeah.
I had seen of that.
Yeah.
And Ollie Thacker.
Oh, yeah, Ollie Thacker.
Yeah, no. So I
Yeah.
didn't put two and two together when we were talking about it, but I realised I had, because I obviously went to go have a little listen before, and I was like, oh wait, I have heard a few of these.
I've heard this bullshit.
Whoa. Oh, God. We didn't even do the game. Fuck.
Oh, let's have
Do
a
we
game.
have time?
Let's have a game. Yeah, we got
we
time. We got
We got
time.
time.
Right, I need to always remember the rules. Okay, who's gonna think?
Well, yeah,
Who wants the
Well,
number?
do you know what would be an honor, Ellie East, is if you explain to the listeners what the rules of the game are. Or I can
No.
explain it if that's putting you on the spot.
I know I'll get it wrong. I got it wrong like 4 times trying to explain it. You go.
Okay, so basically you have to pick a number between 1 and 10, and you have to then be asked questions, and the answer relates to your number. So say if you pick 1,
That's it.
if you pick 1 in your head and someone goes, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? And you say mint and you hate mint, then people have to kind of figure out if you really love mint or really don't. But
Yeah,
then the more
it's
questions you ask.
the more you
Yeah.
know someone, the more interesting it is. But also, the more you don't know someone, the more interesting it is. So it's like
Exactly.
interweaving. Okay, who wants the
The
number?
answer has to be your score out of 10 for that item,
Yeah.
and the
So,
trick
like-
is to work out what someone's love and hate is.
Yeah.
By
So like,
what number they're thinking of.
if this example chocolate bar, if I say bounty,
Yeah.
most people would assume it's low. And mine is low
Yeah.
because I have an intolerance to coconut. It makes me really sick. But like, you never know.
I mean,
So
yeah.
that might be like and as you said earlier, like if it's like a really quick answer, it usually means very high or very low.
Well, I just by the tone of your voice, Ellie, bounty. You know, I was
Bounty.
like, that's not
Fucking
Yeah.
bounty.
But then I could be doing a double
Ugh.
bluff.
I know
Bounty.
this is it.
And
this
you're
is
like,
it.
1. I'm like,
Yeah.
10. Gotcha.
Who's gonna
Right, who's
think
well,
of
does
something?
it have to? I mean, it's got to be Ellie, right?
Yeah.
So I think of the number.
Yeah.
I
Should we
guess
Okay.
so.
should we keep it? Oh no, maybe that's unfair. Let's keep it drum related.
Do it. if you
No,
No,
want.
drum related is boring because we did. Drum related gets boring quite quick. We
Okay.
moved on to sandwich
Well, we
fillings very
could pick anything then.
quickly.
Yeah.
One of each.
Okay.
And how many questions do you get? Is there a limit?
Okay,
to
I
how
have a
many
number.
questions?
Oh,
The way
dunno.
you close your eyes.
We'll do
Um,
we'll do 2 each, George. 2 questions each, and see if we
Okay.
can get the number.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so you got a
Okay,
number,
okay.
right? You got a number, Ellie, yeah?
actually, no, I forgot my number. Okay, yeah, I have a number.
All right. Oh, I know. Oh no. No, I was going to say like coffee type, like you know, you got your espressos, you got your cappuccinos,
Oh, okay.
etc.
I'm gonna.
It's what we call a
say-
callback in the biz.
Oh wait, come on, I need to make a decision for once in your life. I'm
That's
gonna
the title we
say
sorted.
a cortado.
Okay, I'm already thinking it's low.
I don't even know what that is.
Ben, it's like
I
it's
don't
an
drink
espresso
coffee.
with a little bit
Sorry.
of cream on top. Well, you know, that's
Well,
where you get
well,
your own
actually-
question.
Okay, pizza topping.
Do they?
Jalapeno.
It's got. I don't know. Is she a fan of spice? See, this is why it's good. I don't know Ellie enough. She either hates spice or I think it's low to begin with. Clothing brand.
Adidas.
Okay. All right. Okay. She loves a cortado. Right. Go on.
I
Ben.
really hate my outfit today.
And games.
country you've toured in?
Ooh. Controversial, but I've done it a lot. Oh shit. Germany.
Okay, cool. I think it's high, Ben, because Cortado, I didn't know jalapenos, but then she is wearing Adidas. So,
She either hates the Germans or loves the Germans. We don't know.
yeah.
The
I want to
sake
say
of
9.
I was thinking
Okay.
9. I was
9
thinking,
or 2. Like, literally, it is one or the other.
okay,
should I
I
say?
have no idea.
I'm going to go
Yeah,
9.
go on.
We'll go 9.
Yeah, go
It's-
9.
It's 8. It's so
Okay.
Fair
close.
enough. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
I really like Germany. We've done it a lot. I've done like a absurd amount of cities in Germany, and I've loved every single one. Actually,
Brilliant. And
anyway,
you like a cortado? That's what's interesting.
I don't really like milk in my coffee, but I thought it's a minimal milk. So I thought that would,
It is
get
minimum milk, yeah. Is it the one where they sort of froth the milk and then put it on top? Or am I thinking of
that's a
something else?
macchiato. That's like an espresso
that's
with a
what
little
I'm
bit
thinking of.
of milk. Cortado is still, it's like a very, very, very small flat white.
Got ya. Lots to think about there. Right. Let's wrap it up. Thank you
Where
so
can people
much.
where can people find you, Ellie? Where's best?
Southeast London. No, Instagram mainly. Ellie East drums. Oh shit. I wouldn't advise going to my TikTok. Actually,
Okay.
you can, but it's just silly tool vlogs that literally just my nan likes. So Instagram, Ellie East drums.
Awesome.
But yeah, thank you so much for having me. Sorry
thanks
if
for
I just
joining
like
us.
You.
talked at you.
It's absolutely
No,
no
honestly,
problem.
that's how it should be. As I always say, sometimes we'll have a guest and I've run out of questions 10 minutes in, It's always better to be like, fuck, we're still on the Eurythmics.
Oh, don't worry,
we're
I
an
can
hour
just
in.
keep going. I can
No,
keep
it's the
going and just
best. It
talking,
was brilliant. That was
waffling.
fantastic.
But yeah, thank you so much and have the best day of your whole entire life.
You too.
Thanks, Ellie.
Right, thanks
Great
guys.
to
See
meet
you
you.
later.
Cheers.
And
Bye-bye.
you. See you soon. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
look at that. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff.
Sorry, I had to do it at least once.
Yeah.
Great chat. Great chat.
Great chat.
I don't know if you kept in the bits where she was, sort of apologising for talking too much, but don't apologise for that, Ellie. It's great. She did say at one point, it feels like she was talking at us and wasn't so much a conversation, but that is what we want. We've had 200 episodes. Most of it is us talking about. I mean, the people that listen to this know a lot about our lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
90% of our lives for the last 4 years. So, yeah, if we were to then harpoon her interview, with us chatting, then who would want that? People are tuned in
Absolutely.
for Ellie East.
Yeah.
Anyway, very quickly, I thought it was quite an interesting one that we were discussing. And you don't know what I'm going to talk about. Before we did the podcast, was you were talking about you nearly bought a Tama Bell brass snare.
I did. Yeah.
And we were just kind of having a chat about like justification for it. Of
course.
I thought we could just do like a minute on that because
We can. Yeah. So, the Tama Bell brass. Technically, it's a bell bronze. Tama Bell brass, originally from sort of 80s. Iconic snare drum used on so many big sort of rock records, 80s and 90s. We all know it. And I got to see one in person in Las Vegas. Not only, as you know, Rudy had 2 original 80s Tama Bell brass, but he also had this 50th anniversary reissue, which he said he thought was better because it was a more modern construction. And for me, that seems to be reaching above the parapets to be that's probably the number one snare I'd love to own. Now they're not cheap, of course, but on perusal on Mr. Graham Russell drums, and maybe this is coming out in a few weeks, and maybe I've gone and got it, maybe I haven't, maybe it's been sold.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
we don't know. So this could all be bullshit. But they had, they got a brand new one, but they also had a second-hand one for just under $2,500. And to me, having just seen, been looking in that sort of arena and speaking to people who, have that seems like quite a good deal. Like when you look at the price of these things, you're like, ooh, second-hand, $2,500. And I was having lunch with my wife, and I told her, I said, they've got this Tama Bell brass. It's like $2,500. She's like, well, let's go and get it. And, to be in that position where your wife is encouraging you to spend ridiculous amounts of money on a snare drum. Is what a lovely position to be in.
Well, it's dangerous, I'd say.
It's dangerous,
I
yeah,
wouldn't
it's
say
dangerous because
lovely.
I was actually the one going like, I don't know, it's a lot of money, you know, it's a lot of money, but you kind of go, well, it's to buy a new one costs a heck of a lot more, and you go, is this the opportunity? Is this the opportunity to get the snare drum? But then you do look at it and you go, but it's just one snare drum. It's just one snare drum. It's a heck of a lot of money. That money could buy so many other things, drum related or non-drum related. And we got, while we were thinking about it on our drive, traffic stalled us and we wouldn't have been able to get to Graham Russell in time anyway. So then maybe you go, leave it to the gods. If it's still there next week, maybe I'll go try it. But you were also, you know, you kind of got a Black Beauty in your sights.
Because I'd started to say like, well, you know, I'm happy with my, whatever it's called, the Supersonic or whatever. And for like, whatever, I bought that for 150 quid or whatever, you know. And it sounds great. So my thinking was, well, why would I then pay so much more for a snare? But the thing is, it's a Black Beauty. I think I would pay up to £1,000 for one of them. So then you go, but why is that? And you go, well, it's because everyone that talks about it says how good it is. So then it makes justifying £2,500 make more sense. And then got into the chat of, I'm basically just retelling what we talked about because I thought it was interesting. But so this isn't a fresh chat. This is sort of rehashing, a resurgence, if you will. But we were saying like, what is it that makes those instruments so good? You know, Fender Jazz Bass or a Black Beauty. Is it because they genuinely sound great recorded, or is it because people use them on recordings in the 60s or whatever, 70s, and then that's now the industry sound? You know, the same with the Bell Brass. Is it amazing sound, or is it like that's the sound people want because it's what they used
I
to?
think I have to come down. I think if I had to choose, I have to come down the line of it's iconic because it's really for a reason. Like it's iconic for a reason. It's not just people buying it because it's been used a lot. It's been used a lot because it's fucking good.
That's it. Chicken and the egg, isn't it? You know?
Chicken and egg, as we always say every week. Keep banging on about chicken and eggs. But I guess what the real crux is then that demand and that legendary status over these drums drives a higher price. You know, supply and demand, baby. And I think then it's the personal discretion of going, am I willing to pay that to get something? And I very much like to be more on the side of fuck it, buy it. Like you only live once, can't take your money with you. So, but then you do start getting into the realms of, but £2,500 is a lot of money. Let's not be silly here. Yeah. Whereas, you know, and everyone's got a different threshold. You know, to some people, I've got, you know, Yamaha Recording Custom, like couple of BDCs. They're all sort of around the 500-600 mark. And to some people, that's excessive, you know. Whereas to some, you go, well, that's a fucking bargain because it's a quality drum for that price. And I think, where do you go with then? Well, is £2,500? Is it 5 times better? But then do you go, well, no, I just fucking want one because that's the record. That's the snare on all my favorite records. There's a reason why this is, you know, fucking good. And sometimes I think when that opportunity comes up, do you have to take it? And do you have to go, well, fuck the money. Once I bought it, I can always earn more money. And then I've got what I want, you know. And it's the same with Lego. Like, fucking buy it. You want it, buy it, build it. Yeah. Look at it.
Do you know what I found out recently with money? Not found out, but like the thing, because I feel like I go out more than I used to. And a couple of drinks, 2 drinks, over 20 quid now. Do you know what I mean? I was out with someone the other night. I bought 2 double whiskies, and I didn't hear how much it was, but I passed a £20 note, and she went, "Oh, sorry, it's 25 quid for 2 drinks." You know.
Yeah.
But when I do a food shop, I'm like, ooh, I think I'll get the low price Aldi pasta for 39p rather than the slightly more expensive 80p one. You know, it's weird, isn't it? Money. It's like, oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'll get around. Who wants a drink? You know. And then when it comes to other things like shoes, I can keep shoes going for ages. You know, whereas I should just pay 60 quid and get a new pair. You know. And spend more than that on whiskey and a kebab. Anyway, let's not get bogged down in booze and Lego. because we'll be here all day. Thanks for listening. If you're
Thank
still
you very
here,
much for listening. Yeah, thanks to Ellie for being on the show. Go see her on tour. And we shall leave it there. George, a pleasure, a privilege, Mr. Pickering.
Good. And to you, good sir, Mr. Winty. There you go.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Drum and Drummer. You can find us on Instagram at Drum and Drummer Podcast. And you can send us an email to drumanddrummerpod@gmail.com. Remember, just pick up the sticks and twat it.